This is Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. Gareth A Davies, my guy. It is 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. You've been a busy man today. I've been a busy man. We've slotted in. I went and done a little gym session. You've been furiously writing essays and articles and whatever. I'm sure you'll educate us more. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Is my microphone working?
Mike's
Good.
working.
It's only taken years, hasn't it, to get the microphone to work properly, get the tech right, get the lighting right. Um, Still sitting in a corridor in my house.
I'll tell
Um,
you what, I've actually got a question for you, Gareth.
yeah, go on.
Someone actually, I had a few messages and a few comments. Do you ever play that piano behind you?
Yeah, I do, but not publicly because I'm very shy about it.
Okay. I just
But I
needed to
do
hear
play
that.
it. Yes, I do. And my ambition is to play in the lobby of the Waldorf or somewhere one day when I believe I'm good enough, but slight imposter syndrome on it. But I can tickle the ivories a little bit. Um, and yeah, I do play it. I do, and I have lessons as well. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing to have in your home. You know.
I've got to see that party trick pulled out at some point.
No, I'm not going to do it as a party trick. The head kick, the rolling on the floor, the submissions, the lunacy, the tequila drinking, that's all the party tricks. I do take it quite seriously, and I'm very bashful about playing it. It's weird. It's like one of those things that um you just don't want to do because you don't want to make a mistake doing it, you know. Because I'm a very slow typist, I'll tell you that. And it's really been good for me playing the piano, learning to use, this will get taken the wrong way, to use my brain and my fingers in the right way, you know. Yeah. But I will play it for you one day when we're somewhere quiet, maybe in LA in a hotel. I'll play you a few
That's what I
tunes.
mean when I say I wanna see the old piano
Yeah,
skills. I don't necessarily mean you go sit there. I mean like if we find a little piano one evening in
yeah,
Los
yeah.
Angeles
And
and
we'll
we
sing along to
yes,
Coldplay or whatever
yes,
it's.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, exactly.
How are you, Gareth? Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm fully recovered from my crash now. I think I showed it to you before, but we're not publicly. Very bad hemorrhage. I had a little small brain hemorrhage, and so I've been 3.5 weeks recovering from that. Well, it's 3 weeks actually tomorrow, and yeah, it's worrying. But again, I say I've been finishing this book I'm doing, Call of the Warrior, and I've been kind of missing events. Back in the studio in Talk Sport last week after the Euros. I think we chatted about that. Excited about the LA event, excited about this weekend's event. I just feel like boxing had a little slowdown during the Euros and it's kicking on again. And I'm very excited for what the end of the summer and the autumn's got to bring.
I suppose there's always a little dip in the summer in boxing. I remember last July and August being fairly tame, bar Joshua Franklin, I want to say, and I think there were probably a few more little events in there. But it does feel nice. It feels like it's going to pick back up. I suppose let's go straight into it this
Can
week.
I just say, you won't know this, and lots of your viewers may not know this. Back in the day, when the school holidays started, Christmas, the summer holidays, there were very few boxing events because people went away and they couldn't put bums on seats. And the whole landscape of the sport, I'm talking maybe 10 years ago, before the online streaming services and digital streaming services, there were traditionally a real slowdown in the school holidays. You probably don't even remember it.
No, but what I would probably say is, and maybe not to the same extent now, because what it's like mid-July to early September, and we've actually got a busier end of July,
Yeah.
August than we usually would. But I think it's always followed in that there's always, like, for example, June and July ended up being dull this year. I suppose duller, as opposed to like the July, August of normal.
Yeah, but there were plenty of events.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
Um,
duller, because it weren't
yeah,
dull. We're lucky as boxing fans. It just felt a bit flatter.
I wouldn't call it dull or flatter, and they're just not platinum events that
Yeah,
have been going on. And it's like we never used to get events in January, but that's all changed. I mean, look at last year and this year. Which one was it? Was it Day of Reckoning that was
Day of
December
Reckoning was the
last year?
23rd of December, and then I think
Yeah,
you
this
bet,
year
weren't you, for Callum Smith
yeah,
the
yeah,
Turbo, like the
the
following.
undisputed rematch is going to be in December, really near Christmas. So things change, and you have to embrace change, and I'm really happy for it. I mean, there are a few disappointing matchups that are coming that I just thought we were going to get different things, but there could be light at the end of the tunnel. We might get Shaka Stevenson against Tank Davis now because we aren't going to get Lomachenko and Tank Davis. I was disappointed that Chris Eubank doesn't seem to be in a fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez. It looks like it's going to be Edgar Berlanga instead, who deserves a shot. There's no doubt about it. But it's the tectonic plates are shifting a lot at the moment in the sport.
Well, you mentioned Eubank, and we'll pick up on Shakur Loma Tank in a minute. But the Eubank one, I think, baffles a lot of British boxing fans because I think a lot of people were questioning. We know financially he's doing very, very well for himself. A lot of people were questioning, does he still have the desire? We then saw he was linked to Hamza Shiraz for the Riyadh season card. They'd agreed on amount, and then all of a sudden it became a little bit too difficult to get it over the line. And obviously it ended up being Tyler Denny as the opponent. Then we hear that Chris Eubank's done some sort of partnership agreement with Boxer. We speak to Matchroom. Why didn't they end up doing something with Chris Eubank Jr.? Because he wanted, quote unquote, 2 gimme fights first. Then we hear that it could be the Canelo fight. Now we're hearing the money isn't right for the Canelo fight. So what's the desire there? Because if he does have these 2 gimme fights that we're hearing, is it not going to be a matter of the financials aren't going to be right once again when it gets to that? I just don't understand it, Gareth.
No, there's something in that algorithm that you mentioned there that doesn't make sense at the moment. If he was having one warm-up fight and then then Canelo, it would have made sense for Chris Eubank. The other side of it is people will say, oh yeah, he didn't want to take Hamza Shiraz, too difficult to fight, that would kind of bust up his momentum. But the fact, if it's not going to be Canelo next, or Canelo the fight after next, and I don't think it will be Canelo because I think Canelo will face Crawford if he beats Israel Madrimov. Crawford, that is. Yeah. I don't see where he goes. We're back in the circle, back to that. Yeah. Is it Conor Benn? Yeah. And when will Conor Benn be back? It's a real cul-de-sac, isn't it?
It's a bit of a never-ending one.
Yeah, it is. And he's not active enough. And the years are ticking on.
I can understand. That's what I mean. So what, the Liam Smith fight, I'm just talking as a fan now. The Liam Smith rematch was about a year ago. He's not been in the ring since. We know financially he's doing very well for himself. I just like, if he's not, if there's an opportunity to fight Canelo, the financials aren't right. We know that there was an opportunity to fight on that Riyadh season bill. And if you do want those 2, what's the point almost?
Yeah, you're right. You're spot on. There doesn't seem to be. It's very hard, knowing the sport, it's very hard to see where he goes.
Yeah.
Is he going to be facing the winner of Tyler Denny and Hamza Shiraz? That's a viable fight. He's not going to be fighting a Brad Pauls anytime soon, and well done to him on beating Nathan Heaney in a spectacular performance at the weekend. There aren't fights out there. Liam Smith's busy, look. Liam Smith fighting Josh Kelly on that September card. It's very hard to see where Chris Eubank Jr. is going at the moment. That if you were going to suggest anything, if it's not Canelo, then you would think it would be Conor Benn. But that's not resolvable at the moment. So I don't know what the answer is, Charlie. That's my honest opinion. I do not know what the answer is. I just know that from the inside trackers, it was very difficult for them to get him to sign for Hamza Shiraz. Let me just plug my laptop in because I'm just about to run out of power.
Okay, go on, Gareth.
So outside of that, I could not tell you, other than us asking Chris Eubank Jr. what his plans are, and he wouldn't tell you anyway.
No. Let's go into this weekend.
When was the last time you had a Zoom with him?
I've never interviewed Chris Eubank Jr.
Well, there you go.
Yes,
there's your task for the next week.
I have once. I interviewed him in Manchester, and I asked him a question. and he gave me a semi-sarcastic response. And then he basically said something along the lines of, "Well, you know who I want. Who have I been saying that I want?" And this was in a period where he'd been calling a lot of people out. So I then responded saying, "You've been calling a lot of people out," and he said, "Do your research," and walked off. So, but that's a bit of a Eubank Junior
No,
move.
it is. Listen, I've always got on very well with the Eubanks. I've got tremendous love for them. The last time I was interviewing him was in that ring when he beat Liam Smith. And I managed to get in. I was doing the live interview for Talk Sport and the broadcast. He said, "What are you doing in here? You're not meant to be in here." But he said, "The fact is, you've been cheeky enough to get in here. I'll give you an interview," as he did live on air. So he's always a quirky character. He's a box office guy.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
just make that
I
clear and
think that's just
underline it in
why it's
bold.
that. I suppose that's why we have this conversation because I
Yeah,
almost feel, as a fan, a little bit
yeah.
frustrated because there's so much more. You'd think you'd want to
He
say
keeps you, he
mention.
leaves you gagging for more all the time. All the time.
Gareth, this weekend we got Derek Chisora versus Joe Joyce. I'm not going to lie, there's been a lot of criticism on our comment section and whatever because I really like the fight. A lot of people don't seem to like the fight. I know people have been calling for Chisora to retire. You can argue that, there's certain claims for people saying that Joe Joyce would retire. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of heavyweight fights that are being involved with the whole Riyadh season thing right now. We've got this. It's headlining the O2. If you don't like the main event, it gives us a nice little undercard. We've got Moses of Town. We're having a real step up. Dennis McCann's in a great fight. There's a couple more great ones on there, and that we'll see. We're already seeing the fight week going as it is. I quite like it.
Yeah, me too. I Let me just address those two undercard fights you mentioned. Really looking forward to Dennis McCann against Jon Baluta. Baluta, I think it's his seventh fight in a row in the UK. Fights against the likes of Michael Conlan, which he lost, but he's always game, Baluta.
It's a proper
Obviously,
throwback fighter.
yeah, he is a throwback fighter, the Romanian. And I think Dennis McCann wants to put the record straight. I think it was the ninth round, the head clash, or ninth. It was stopped at the end of the ninth last time, and obviously it was a split draw, wasn't it? So it's or a majority draw, one of the two. Good opportunity for him. Apparently, he's very happy with Joe McNally up in Liverpool. He looks in fantastic shape. And he is one of the stars. He's a brilliant super bantamweight fighter, lives the life, obviously from the traveller heritage. He's very well followed in the community.
Yeah,
I know people
massive.
love him.
Yeah.
He's a great character, the Menace. So looking forward to that. Great opportunity for Moses Atauma in his 10th fight to lay a marker down against Marius Wack, who's 49th fight it is, I think it is. He's 44. He's old enough to be Moses' grandfather. Yeah, Moses is 19 still, remember. You know what that feels like. You're 20 now, I think, but you know what that feels like. 21. Goodness, you're old enough to be Moses' grandfather. It's a great opportunity for Moses to lay a marker down against the likes of the Dillian Whites and the Povetkins and the Huey Furies and all these guys that have beaten him. Fraser Clark went 10 rounds with him, remember, at the York Hall just recently in Marius Wack's last fight. So great opportunity and head on the block. I think Moses will stop him in 4 or 5 rounds. I think he'll find a way. I think he'll be spiteful. He'll be up for it. Like you say, Marius Wack is a wizened veteran, knows his way around the ring. So, this is a great opportunity for Moses. And to the main event, it's a lose-lose for Joe Joyce for me. He's got to look good on the optics. You'll want the fight to go viral, the end of it to go viral if he can get a stoppage. He's got to put it on Derek and not be caught by the overhand right or Derek's smothering tactics. I don't wish any ill on Derek, of course, but I think this is Joe Joyce's fight to lose. If he wants to get back in the big time with the big boys, Cash Ali wasn't a great comeback performance in lots of ways. The 2 defeats to Zhile Zhang really put him on the back foot in the heavyweight division. And if he wants to be in that Saudi heavyweight mix that we talk about with all those big names, he needs to look really good in this performance. And there's a lot of people saying how much he got left. So he's got to go out there and do a number. I like the look of him. He's been working with a sports psychologist, which I like the sound of. Johnny Fisher revealed that to me on Saturday night in at Talk Sport in the studio. Joe Joyce is 39 in September, nearly old enough to be your grandfather. So, you know, he's really got to get a hurry on, get a wriggle on in this fight and come out and dominate. What we don't know is whether he's put his hand in the cash register so many times, Charlie, and emptied the cash register on taking punches. We don't know yet. Derek will test that.
I can't call it. Can you?
Yeah. Joe Joyce points or
Okay.
Joe Joyce late stoppage.
Okay. We need to see a much better Joe Joyce than the Cash
Yeah.
Ali. Yeah. What did you make of the Adam Morley spat with Derek Chisora?
I think it was spoof. Derek clearly wasn't intimidating Adam Morley. I think Adam Morley, you had to applaud for giving it.
I mean, I don't think I would ever give it lemon to Derek like that.
Well, it was like the in-betweeners taking on fucking Mike Tyson, wasn't it? You know, in his pomp. You know, that's not a fight you want to see on a roof because you know he's being thrown off. You know, Derek's clear fear of heights was funny and fascinating. And Morley took advantage of him up there while he was up there. Joe doesn't trash talk, Joe Joyce. So 5'6" Adam Morley, I don't know how tall he is, but he looked very small next to Derek Chisora. Was trying to get into him. I think it was a funny moment. And I didn't see Derek volatile or heated in that moment. I think he was quite shocked.
That's what I mean. I was shocked.
Well, I suddenly noticed how squeaky Adam Morley's voice was while he was having a go at Derek. And I was thinking, please don't wind him up here too much, standing on a roof with Derek. Did they, in the end, walk up there together or not? I missed the end of the video. I have seen it, but it was very entertaining. They've done a great job of selling the fight.
Yes, I was going to say they actually have. I think they're fake.
Yeah, they have. And I'm really looking forward to being there the next 2 days with Talk Sports and the Telegraph and talking with Duke McKenzie and Spencer Oliver are going to be with me. Yeah, like you say, people are complaining about the fight.
Yeah.
What, because they're older? But there's a lot of stake for both men.
Yeah, I like it. I think
it'll be fun.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
And even if you don't like the main event, all us boxing fans will watch it anyway. Like I say, there's a great Archie Shaw.
Yeah, look, yeah, absolutely. That's a great fight. I love Archie. He believed and believed and believed, and that's the thing about Archie. He will get somewhere in the end. He's been in Talk Sports studio with myself, I think, and Adam Catterall at one point a couple of years ago, and it wasn't going well for him. But he said, "I'm not giving up. I'm going to believe. I've got something about me," and he has. I think he'll be brilliant on Saturday night. I'm really looking forward to that. But what I'd also say, just to go back to the two heavyweights, is that Joe Joyce is a very beloved figure. Olympic silver medalist, probably should have won gold in Rio. And Derek Chisora has become a kind of a folkloric figure as well, a cult figure. So there's nothing wrong with this main event. It's a great, you can call it a fun fight because they're both going to give their all in there. And I do think Joe Joyce will prevail victorious.
On the topic of a Queensberry show, we've heard that Queensberry may be going to DAZN. Gareth, do you know if it's true?
Well, I mean, all I can go on is what Frank Warren said so far. I can't get a statement out of him on it from him at the moment. No doubt he'll be asked it over and over again this week now when we're all together for fight week. Isn't in that they've still got about a year to run with the TNT, former BT Sport TNT contract. He's very happy with the contract with them. They've got a great working relationship. It goes back a very long way, remember. So if it is to happen, it kind of makes sense in a way. All the promoters coming under one banner. It's something that I know that the Saudi Arabians are in favor of. They're very influential at the moment. And I like the fact that we've got this promotional agreement between Top Rank and Golden Boy and the Saudi Arabians that was announced this week with Riyadh Season. And I don't know if it's just a branding or a commercial deal. I'm not sure. The details of it haven't come out yet. But it's all good news for boxing, frankly, because it spells of cooperation, Charlie. And cooperation means the fight's being made. Al Heyman and Boxer and Ben Shalom under one umbrella. Ben will be out in LA next week as well with Martin McCauley, of course, in a great fight with Jared Anderson. Really looking forward to that. I think Anderson will really step up to the plate in this fight. He needs to, and he will. And I think he'll come out with flying colours. If he doesn't, McCauley will rumble into him like a gathering of bowling balls, you know, because he's a dangerous, strong fighter. But for me, all of it, if it does happen, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but that's a decision for all the top executives and how their deal works out. You don't know who's playing who at the moment. We know that Queensberry still have a deal with TNT that looks very strong anyway. And we know that there have been triple casts with Sky, DAZN, and TNT on certain events. And I quite like all the broadcasters out there together. But do we need to get to a time maybe when most boxing is under one banner, which is what people have talked about for a long time, and something that the Saudis are in favor of? So it's fascinating. We'll see how it plays out.
I suppose, given the contractual situation that they're under with TNT anyway, even if there was any truth to it, they probably wouldn't give much away.
No, why would Frank? No, but why would he give anything away at the moment? Because it's great if there is an interest from DAZN, but at the same time, Frank Warren and Queensberry may decide, do you know what? We're going to stay with TNT. And you don't know what the head honchos, the top level, the boardroom at TNT are thinking about their strategy moving forward. They've also got UFC. They might want to put more of their time into UFC and not boxing. You know, look, for those channels, I think boxing and UFC are just gravy. The big seller is their football, isn't it? For people to pay 80 quid a month or whatever they pay. It's to get the soccer rights. So excuse me for using soccer. People don't like it very often, but association football. Yeah, I upset you then, didn't I, by saying that? You got over Berlin and your hangover yet?
Oh, of course I have, mate. That was...
Oh, so you did have a hangover, yeah?
I was awful, bro. I spoke to you, didn't I?
I know, I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing.
Well, we're both off to Los Angeles next week, which is great.
Are we?
Weather in England is
I hear you haven't booked a hotel yet.
No, I have booked a hotel. That's what I said. Well, we're sort of in the process, but you've now mentioned your hotel, and I'm now thinking of looking otherwise.
Well, it's going to be brilliant. I think. I mean, I can't reveal everything, but I think we're going to have one of the events down on the beach somewhere, Venice or Santa Monica or somewhere like that. I think it'll be a spectacular event. Really looking forward to Eminem and who else is Justin Bieber? Is it?
I think it's just Eminem, isn't it?
It's just Eminem. Yeah,
that's just still pretty sick, isn't it?
It's pretty what?
Pretty sick, Gareth.
Oh yeah, it's fat, brother. It's fat. PHAT, fat, baby. Come on, that's your kind of language.
Oh, I've never used fat like that, you know.
Well, should we end on that note then?
Oh, let's not. Crawford-Madrimov.
Crawford, all day long. It's going to be a tougher fight than a lot of people are anticipating. He's going to have to weather. Physically, it's probably going to be he's never going to have been hit so hard. And but I just wouldn't surprise me if he knocked him out in side 5. But I think we talked about Golovkin earlier. Well, certainly Golovkin's on my mind because I'm writing an essay on him at the moment. But we did mention Golovkin, didn't we?
Not in this interview.
Oh, okay. You know the story about Golovkin training up in Big Bear in California, and he ran into a grizzly or a bear up there, and the bear took one look at him and ran off. So Abel Sanchez always says, maybe apocryphal, but it just gives the aura of Golovkin out when he was about to fight Canelo. Let this be known. He won that first fight against Saul Canelo Alvarez. Clearly won that first fight. He didn't win the second, in my view, and he got well beaten in the third, but he won that first fight. In fact, it was a draw. It was a disgrace.
I'm going to rattle off some quick ones for you. Canelo Berlanga looks to be done.
Yeah. Berlanga's very highly ranked. He's number 1 challenger, I think, with the WBA, if I'm right.
WBA, yeah.
And he's very highly ranked in the other 3. It doesn't thrill me to the bone. because I was hoping it would be Chris Eubank Jr. But you can't feel any resentment towards Edgar Berlanga getting that fight right now.
Anthony Joshua and Carl Froch look to have deaded their beef.
Did they? What did they do?
I don't know. Carl Froch done an episode on Froch Talks Fighting.
Yeah.
You know how it was a Q&A and public sent their questions in, and AJ sent a question in
Oh, did he?
about when Carl won the IBF belt against Jean Pascal.
Great night. Tyson Fury's debut that night as a pro, by the way. Do you remember that? 2008. Tyson Fury's debut at the Nottingham Ice Rink that night, yeah.
AJ had asked, did he feel like less of a champion because he'd not beat a champion and he'd won a vacant belt? But it was very friendly and amicable, and Carl says that AJ may now end up coming on a guest appearance. I spoke to Frank Smith and I spoke to Eddie, and they both just said it would probably have just been like an ego thing.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just crap going out into the ether, isn't it? It's just people, it's like shooting the shit like we do, really. I mean, it doesn't change the world.
No, but
Carl does very good clickbait at the moment, doesn't he? So
controversy sells, Gareth.
Yeah, it does. It always has. Listen, hype and promotion, that's what fights are about as well. Without the hype and promotion, people don't know about it. I mean, settle their beef. Well, they'll always settle their beef. They're both beef. They're both fighters, so they'll have a deep respect for what each other has achieved in the ring. Just tell me that again. That Carl AJ was saying that Carl fought for the vacant title against Jean.
AJ sent a question in to Carl Froch and said, did he feel like less of a champion because he'd not beat the man? Well, I say not beat the man. It was Jean Pascal had a great career and he was a great champion, ended up going on to do what he did. But at the time he wasn't champion and the belt was vacant. And Carl went on to explain that he wanted to fight Calzaghe. Whatever happened there happened, and it didn't end up materializing. So he had to fight for a vacant belt. And AJ was sort of saying, did he? But it was like I suppose he'd sent it in a way of like he wasn't being malicious. It was like
no, it doesn't sound. I don't think he is a malicious person. He's a malicious fighter. But they're never going to step in the ring together, and they're never going to have a street
Carl
fight.
did say at one point, which was a bit bonkers.
No, Anthony Joshua would knock him out. Come on. What's Carl, 52 now?
Is he?
No, he's not. I'm joking. No, he's probably 42.
No, I'm going to look now because I'm
45, I reckon.
7.
47.
Yeah.
Wow. He hasn't fought for 10 years, has he? So
quickly, Conor Benn, any update?
No, none, my friend. None at all. It's one of those. What is going to happen here?
And then
I think he's going to fight in America under DAZN cards. I think that's what's going to end up happening.
Very lastly from me, you mentioned earlier, we were hoping to see Tank versus Loma. I loved it. I'll be honest, I couldn't believe it was on Loma's side that the fight wasn't happening. Doesn't seem like him to, it feels like at this point of his career, a career break, you almost think, well, could that be it with Loma?
No, it's not. His country's at war and he's got things on his mind, I think.
You think?
Yeah. And also he's probably just mulling over what he wants to happen. But it opens up the opportunity, Charlie, for Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis. Because that is the biggest fight in America, in my view.
So much politics. Do you think we see it?
Not really. Shakur's a free agent. I
suppose not so much a normal promotional politics, but just...
No, let's not forgive them this. They're both in their mid to late 20s, 26 and 27, I think they are. 20. No, it's Tank 30 now.
A bit older now, yeah.
Yeah. So they're both in their prime. It's a massive opportunity for Shakur to right the wrongs of what people are saying about him. It's the biggest fight outside the heavyweights in America. Of all the heavyweights that fights there are, make it happen. It's a super fight that scintillates, frankly, and it decides the number one pound for pound boxer in America, in my view. The winner of that is right up there in the pound for pound list.
Well, Gareth, big up yourself. I will see you tomorrow in
Yeah,
London.
in about 4 hours because it's so late.
Yeah, it's half midnight here, so
Where are we going? O2 Arena tomorrow, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, let's not give the venue away, but we are. We're at the O2 Arena for the afternoon. We don't want too many people in there. If there's too many, if there's too big a crowd in there, it'll just ignite Derek.
Yes, well,
We're going to get a table turned over tomorrow.
I doubt it. I don't think it's open to the public.
I never say never about Derek overturning a table. Yeah.
Oh, true. Gareth, see you tomorrow, mate. Legend.
Cheers.
Thank you,
Cheers.
my God. What is that? Is that Powerade or something?
No, that's a Patron Silver tequila and summer sugar-free Red Bull with berries.
That is rogue. A Red Bull at this time.
Yeah, well, I've got about 2 more hours of writing to do.
Oh no, you're some man. Thank you for squeezing me.
Cheers,
in.
bud.
See you soon, bro.